So, for the second week of Monster Month, I bring to you the lore on geckos from Fallout 2 and Fallout New Vegas. These mutated lizards have sleek and durable hides and are mostly in the Mojave and New California, respectively. Prior to the Great War, the average gecko was about 0.39 inches or 1.6 centimeter to 27 inches or 60 centimeters. And now they're much larger. I have later in the notes that they could be about the size of a small child, and in some cases, even larger. Now, I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com, the Nukipedia itself. Because of FEV spills from West Tech, most of these lizards have mutated. In the Fallout Bible, it says an unknown breed of geckos indigenous to the Oregon-California border are the geckos that mutated to make the geckos we have now. This mutation was made from the FEV, and it made them bigger, stronger, faster, and more fertile. And I think that's super interesting because the FEV, when it comes to humans, makes us completely infertile. I believe super mutants are actually eunuchs. Like, they don't have male or female genitalia. It's like a Ken doll. That was kind of the running theory we had back in the day when we would play D&D. We would play FOD or FOD 20 or Fallout D&D or Fallout D, whatever the hell we were calling it. With the running idea, the running joke was that if you took a super mutant's pants off, it was just like a cloaca. Like, they didn't have anything because they can't reproduce sexually, they can't reproduce asexually. So I think it's funny that geckos, that's the problem with the Master's Army, is that it's taking humans and dipping them in FEV, and the more you run out of fresh humans, Fallout 3 super mutants, they're looking to make more mutants, but they can't find freshies. So humans, genitals, uterus does not work. Drops out of you or falls off or something. Geckos, trying to screw. It took a few generations to stabilize their reproduction, but once it did, they began to breed akin to rats. So I never guessed how fast rats can breed, but if it's anything like rabbits, I guess smaller mammals just don't need an incubation time as long as humans. Humans are like, elephants need anywhere from 10 to 12 months, if I remember correctly, but a baby, it takes 9 months to have a baby. Modern geckos are the size of a child, in some cases larger. Like I said, they have a hunched over posture and variation in skin color depending on their size, their durability, their attributes. I'm going to get into the attributes of a bunch of different geckos in just a moment. I just have to get through this part first because it is something I want to read directly off the wiki to make sure I encapsulate it properly. Now, they're normally pretty docile creatures, but they do have a pack mentality, meaning if one is attacked, it's on sight. Like, if they see one of theirs get attacked, or if one of theirs get attacked, no matter what's going on, they're going to attack back. They have fangs and claws, which they use to rip and tear their enemies with. And hunters want their hides, which I think is a super interesting thing to kind of go into, is the economy that would blow up around trapping. And I'd love to see, you kind of see that a little bit with like Bar Harbor, you kind of see like Old Longfellow, and I believe there are just some trappers, but I would love to see a Fallout game where that's like a side quest. Like, you'll never get a Fallout game that's more simulation-like when it comes to something like Red Dead Redemption, where you could go out and farm these animals and bring back their pelts and make money, but I'd like to see that as like something implemented. Like, oh, go kill a rad stag, bring back its hide, like there's condition to the hide, like depending on how you kill it. I think that'd be a lot of fun to see. Now, by 2241, regular hides go for 25 NCR dollars, flat. NCRD, 25. Trappers will usually pay a little bit more because they'll use them to make a leather, armor, and gecko meat is rather popular, and if it's cooked correctly, tastes a little bit like canned chicken. Which, hey, what doesn't taste like chicken, right? Now, like I said, there's a couple things that I want to read directly off the wiki because I want to make sure I get it completely accurate. There's some geckos that are only in Fallout 2 and some that are only in New Vegas. Like, for instance, the regular gecko is a small to medium-sized gecko with indigo skin. The regular gecko is a small, medium-sized gecko with indigo skin. Like their cousins, the silver gecko, they are mostly peaceful, but tend to be rather aggressive in groups. They are very quick on their feet and are fond of using their numbers to rush and overwhelm opponents. Silver or little geckos show up in Fallout 2. The silver gecko is also called a little gecko, is a small-sized gecko with silver skin. They are the smallest and least aggressive of all of them, and they're not very resistant to damage. They have thus only been observed in southern Oregon. The golden gecko. These are both in Fallout 2 and New Vegas. The golden gecko is a medium-sized gecko with golden skin, and they are a more beautiful but also more deadly kind of gecko than the regular geckos. They can be found around irradiated areas which they lick up toxic waste, causing their particular mutation, different than any kind of geckos, and making their attacks irradiate the opponent. These can be found in Oregon and the Mojave. Fire geckos found in both Fallout 2 and New Vegas. A medium, large-sized gecko with dark violet skin. They are the second deadliest kind after the golden gecko, and as the name indicates, can breathe fire due to constant exposure to sulfur that is now held in their digestive system. Unlike other geckos, they also have large spikes or decorative frills that cover their heads down to their lower back. They are immune to fire, and their hides are far too mangy or burned to have any real value. The green gecko, which appears in Honest Hearts, is a large gecko with shiny light green skin. They are the most deadly of all geckos and can spit several slow-moving, far-reaching globs of poisonous saliva similar to centaurs. Despite their fragile appearance, they have a high resistance to damage. The cause of their mutation is currently unknown, though some theorize it might be due to the ingestion of poisonous plants native to Zion Canyon. And my favorite, the cut gecko, that was never meant to be in the game, Gojira. Called simply Gecko when spawned, Gojira is its editor ID. Its model is identical to that of the fire gecko, but tripled in size, making it roughly equal to a super mutant behemoth in height. It has its own unique embedded fire breath weapon called Gojira Flame, which has a base damage of 400 and an incredible damage per second of 3,200. Wow. And a staggering 8,000 HP, making it the strongest creature in the game. Now, where is it? Gojira was never meant to be in the game. It is cut content, technically, but it's still there. It was a joke. Gojira, I don't think I even said this. Hi, my name is Vince and I love Godzilla. Gojira is Godzilla's name in Japan. In Fallout 2, the quest perk, Gecko Skinning, allows player characters to skin silver geckos and gold geckos, not fire geckos. In New Vegas, one is able to take the hide of any gecko directly if their survival skill is high enough. They can tan a skin at a campfire. In New Vegas, geckos are considered animals for the purposes of the Animal Friend, Animal Control, and Hunter perks, but that does not include fire geckos. Originally, the green geckos were planned to be in Fallout Pen and Paper D20, and then they later showed up in Honest Hearts. That's everything I pretty much have to say on them little gold boys, known as the little gold boys, those little colorful boys that you just see them as soon as you get to Good Springs. Like, you go out with Sunny Smiles and she's just like, hey there, partner. And then you meet geckos. It's just a fun time all around. That, my friends, is the goal. Again, I want to say the golden geckos. That, my friends, is geckos, and that, most certainly, for Monster Month Week 2 of 2022, episode 222, is lore. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye.